Welcome back to the Authentic Living Show here on 94.9 FM and AM 950 The Word. I'm Courtney Shaw. Joining me back in the studio is Rana and Raeli Smith. They're a dynamic mother-daughter team serving in family ministry at Waterstone Church right here in Altamont and Lake Mary, Florida. They both have a passion to aim and inspire hope in those that pursue an authentic, restored life in Christ. Well, welcome back, ladies, to the Authentic Living Show.
We're excited.
And we've been having fun. Listen, I love the realness and the rawness, even in the midst of messiness, that God has given you a powerful weapon and tool, and that is to be intentional about having fun, right? And especially as a family in ministry, marrying into a family in ministry, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes because there's so much pressure to be all things to all people and to meet everybody's needs emotionally, financially, spiritually, relationally. And so when it comes to the family unit, Raina, you've been really intentional, you and Ron have, about putting a hedge of protection around that and making sure that's a safe place for your family. How do you feel like you've been able to manage keeping you guys together and unified and still having your young adult children love the Lord and wanting to serve him after 23 years of this journey?
I think it's just daily conversations and trying to take advantage of the moment. Like whenever a hurt occurs or maybe they're going through something in their life or whatever it may be, we actually try to dissect it and dialogue about it. It may be while we're cutting up cucumbers in the kitchen or riding in the car. It's like, okay, how are you today?
Checking in.
How are you processing? How did that make you feel? How are you processing that today? And so it's a daily, don't you think, a daily check-in of just finding out where the temperature gauge is that day and what we can do different. It may be kind of changing up your day and just saying, hey, let's go grab coffee real quick, or let's just sit down and sometimes I'll go in and maybe a daughter withdraws a little bit and goes and sits in a room and paints a little bit. I'll just go curl up in the bed with them and just read my book while I'm in there. We don't have to talk. We don't have to do anything, but I know it's my calling to go and kind of just sit and just be available. And I think many times in ministry, you can look at, the things that need to get done and miss the moment. And I think that's where ministry families start to kind of crumble and separate. Because it is our goal. I mean, my biggest goal was for them to love Jesus and for Jesus to be Lord of their life. Not caught by my relationship or Ron's relationship, but to have a personal walk with Christ. Like the old, I guess, what was it? Growing Kids God's Way. It was, back then it was parent control, self-control, God control. And so it's like, yeah, I just want them to have God to be Lord of their life and Jesus to be so real in their relationship and being willing to walk with them through that. Because they may have a different idea than I do. Because we were having a discussion this morning and she was like, Mom, why do you kind of still sometimes have that wall up of transparency? And I was like, I think it's the seasons of that getting hurt.
Oh, yeah.
That we tend to, that's our first response of, oh, you better be careful of what you share.
And toughen up a little bit.
Yeah, toughen up a little bit. But then where does that transparency in ministry come from? So to be able to have those conversations, with your girls or your kids, just to let them know what ministry really looks like, but what ministry can look like.
Right. That it's possible to have a healthy family unit, even in the midst of being called to pour into so many other people's lives. Well, Raeli, I want to talk to you a little bit just about relationships too, because you're in an interesting season of your life. You just wrapped up college. You're getting ready to you're exploring now, okay, God, what's the direction you want me to go as far as my career? And relationships can be really demanding, even in that season of your life with your girlfriends, whether you're dating someone, just ministry relationships.